Hello and welcome to another hungry episode of a weekly Waypoint. Why hungry, you ask? Well, because my stomach's making the rumblies that only dots will satisfy. No, actually, it's not a Pac-Man joke at all. It's because I'm recording this before lunch. What I should actually be saying is welcome back to another hay fever-ridden episode of a weekly Waypoint, because my nose isn't too stuffy right now, but it could get stuffier throughout this recording. Hay fever's hitting me hard this year. I never used to suffer from hay fever, but over the last few years I think I've developed it, which is apparently a thing that can happen. And, oh boy. You know what, we're less than 30 seconds in and I've already had like 7 outtakes, so I think I'm gonna go pause and have lunch. That's better! So yeah, Pac-Man. A lot of people seem to be playing Pac-Man games at the minute, probably because Pac-Man Museum Plus came out, but also that probably came out because there's some sort of Pac-anniversary coming out. I don't know, I haven't checked. Let's just assume Pac-Man had an anniversary recently, and that's why we're playing Pac-Man 99. After playing some Pac-Man Museum Plus myself, I thought, yeah, I never really did give Pac-Man 99 much of a shot, and Fortnite's down for maintenance, so that's another week where I've gone to record a Fortnite match for the weekly Waypoint and failed again. It truly is a cursed game. But yeah, before we talk about that, I should talk about Pac-Man 99. I'm surprised at how much fun it is. Like, I've played Tetris 99 a bunch, and I love Tetris, but I can't really get into Tetris 99 because no matter how tactfully you play, the whole play is just dumping whole bunches of lines on you all at once, never stops feeling like bullshit to me. Like, that game is more frustrating than it is fun, in my personal opinion. But I've never really played Pac-Man 99, and I think it benefits from being simpler. It's simple, eat the dots to speed up, I think? I like how I say it's simple and immediately don't know how something works. Eat the things to eat the ghosts, eat the, like, little ghost things in the columns to get more ghosts to eat to send more evil Pac-Men over to other people's things. Avoid the evil Pac-Men, eat the dots to get rid of the Pac-Men, you know, that kind of thing. The big dots get rid of the evil Pac-Men. Are you following? Keep up. I'm not a huge Pac-Man fan or anything. Like, I enjoy a good game of Pac-Man as much as the next guy, but, you know, it's just Pac-Man, isn't it? But there are some Pac-Man side games which really have caught my interest. I think I 100% completed Pac-Man Championship Edition DX in 100 minutes, and now I can never launch that game again because it's a nice symmetrical number both ways. And I really like the idea of Pac-Man 256. I think it's a really fun mobile game, which I prefer to play on PC because of achievements. It is, both of those games are in Pac-Man Arcade, but or Pac-Man Museum, I should say. But the thing with a good arcade title, much like a good platformer, relies on how good its achievements are, and it's like 15 gamer score to like perfect Pac-Man 256, and that's just too much work for me. I think there is a standalone version of Pac-Man 256 on the Xbox store though, so maybe that'll go down to like 50p one day and I'll just pick it up there. But, you know, whatever. It's fun. It's like an endless runner, but Pac-Man form. Okay, enough Pac-Man. Fortnite Season 2 finished, or Chapter 3 Season 2, I guess. How was that? Well, it was bloody fun, wasn't it? I took some clips of the gameplay of the actual event, but I didn't, like, record the whole thing or stream it or anything. Considered it, but I was playing with Reese, and I can't stream from my Xbox with Reese in, unless he joins Xbox Party Chat, which is notoriously shit to join on PC. It usually doesn't work. But I was like, I'm just gonna chill. This one can just be for me. The only other end-of-season experience I think I've been around in Fortnite for is the end of the original Chapter 4, and I don't really remember what happened. I think, like, the island exploded or something. I can't quite remember. But no, the event was fun. You got to be in a giant mech and shoot tanks with railguns from it and stuff like that, and then, you know, you'd get out the mech at one point and you run around shooting people, and it was just fun. I applaud them. I still think it's kind of a shame that they limit those events to literally being one time. I get that lends a certain grandeur to them, of like, oh, you've got to be on at 9 PM, but like, for instance, Molly had work, so she couldn't see it or play it. It would be nice if during the downtime, I don't know how technically possible this is for the way they do things, but it'd be nice if during downtime they just, I don't know, let people replay the event. Because unlike the Season 4 one, it wasn't just like a spectacle that you were viewing, it was like, it had actual gameplay, you actually did things in it. I've also realised after looking at Twitter and Reddit and stuff, I think this game might have spoiled kids who play it and haven't played any other video game in their life and don't realise how seasonal games work, because so many people were complaining about that event, saying it was boring and shit, and I just don't understand in what universe that could possibly be true. Maybe they're just trolling, but it really stuck out to me as like, you know, if someone's used to 10 of something and you give them 100 of something, by the end of a week they'll be complaining that you haven't given them 150 of something, if you know what I mean. Now obviously I'm not a grumpy old man because, well, I mean, I'm turning 27 next week, so I can't really say I'm young for much longer, but but like, Fortnite really does make me feel like a grumpy old man sometimes. But yeah, Season 3, I guess, Chapter 3 Season 3. The battle pass doesn't look too crazy. Like, it's got Darth Vader at the end of it, presumably. It's definitely got Darth Vader in it, we know that much at this point. But a lot of the other skins look quite basic, but I don't know, there's a certain charm to them. I'm looking forward to opening up the game and seeing what variations there are. I'm not a fan of the fact that they seem to have nerfed the amount of, well, not the amount of XP you get, but they've increased the amount of XP it takes to get a level by 5,000, so 75,000 up to 80,000. I'm still not a fan of, like, that's just such an obvious example of how they seem to think Fortnite thrives on FOMO. Like, I wish everyone else would just adopt Halo's Battle Pass idea of, like, if you buy it, then yeah, you can unlock it at your own pace. You don't have to worry about getting it done before it expires, because it's just like, clearly it's a successful model, otherwise they wouldn't keep doing it the way they're doing it, but it's just so shitty to me. Speaking of, how do I transition into this deftly? Speaking of developers employing psychological tricks to keep players in their ecosystem for longer, spending more money in unethical ways, Diablo Immortal came out this week. Have I given away my opinion on it? No, because actually it's a lot more nuanced than that, but yeah, let's just get into it. Diablo Immortal is a really fun Diablo game, and that's very annoying. It's very fun. I'm playing mostly on PC. It's definitely like simplified, but it's also simplified in a way that has enough changes that makes it feel different and fun. Like, for instance, the way you get abilities, like they rank up and stuff, and like you can still like change what you've got in what slot and stuff like that, but the rune system isn't there anymore or anything like that. When you get gear, it's a lot easier to just see, and it was easy in Diablo 3, but it's a lot easier to just see what's an upgrade. Like, it's just highlighted as an upgrade and then you just equip it. But I'm playing the wizard, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a legitimately fun Diablo game. It's a lot like Diablo 3, of course, but we always knew this was going to be an asset flip, didn't we? I'm enjoying the story so far. You know, it's nothing crazy, but it is like a nice extra chunk of Diablo 3 feeling story as well. The frustrating part about it is that it is not only pay to win, it is, as Zeppler put it in a recent video that she did about it, it is whale to win. It's not just predatory, it's like the people who are spending money on this game and buying microtransactions, they're not even getting the best amount of power out of it if they're not spending literally hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And there are people online praising this game for saying that it has a lot of free content to do for a basically free-to-play premium ass mobile game. But like, I feel like that kind of subtracts from the point a little bit. Like, I've played up to like level 22 or something. I've played up to the first time you get into Westmarch proper, and I'm on the fence about whether to continue, even though I'm really enjoying the game. Because, look, they have a battle pass, right? And I was tempted by it. I was like, well, if it's just like £4.50 and it's a battle pass, and you would assume that battle pass giving you resources and stuff, it's the same as, like, it gets you on the same level as I've paid for this game and therefore I'm getting the most out of this game, right? Turns out, no, not even close. Some of the videos I've watched about Diablo Immortal really make it clear that, like, the battle pass is just one of many facets of giving money to this game that you'll need to do, if not just if you want to be competitive, because, like, famously, I'm the kind of person who would be saying, oh, it's fine, I don't really care about being on top of leaderboards or anything like that. But to the point where you want to feel geared full stop. And while this is a fun Diablo game in its own right, it's very similar to Diablo 3 in a lot of ways, and I'm just thinking, if I want to feel powerful in a Diablo 3 style environment, why don't I just go and play fucking Diablo 3? So yeah, I'm still, like, not completely committed to never touching this game again. You know, I might still jump in there and experience the story, but the more I hear about the end game of this game, the less inclined I am to open it up. It's disastrous. It's disgusting. Before this game came out, I was defending the developers of Diablo Immortal from, I mean, not like actively going out there and defending them from people being mean to them on Twitter, but just like whenever it came up in conversation, I was nice about them because, you know, people made the memes about don't you guys have phones and stuff, and I was like, you know, that was a stupid mistake that, like, of one sentence a year ago, and it belied a dumb philosophy underneath all of it, sure, but they eventually decided to bring the thing to PC anyway, and, you know, I was like, they're fine. But now, I don't know, dude, if these are the developers that, it doesn't matter if it was like the Chinese developers who put all of these microtransactions things in and designed all of the microtransactional methods, they are still the people who greenlit it. I mean, okay, there's likely some developers on the team who worked on the actual game experience and were probably annoyed at the level of microtransactions that came into it, and I do feel for them, but as for like the actual directors of this game, no sympathy. Fuck you guys. That is disgusting what you have allowed to creep into your game, and it is predatory, and you are going to make shitloads of money off of it, and it's going to be very successful. And now I'm concerned about Diablo 4 and what they're going to do to put into that game to try and get more money out of people who enjoy Diablo Immortal and might be trying Diablo 4 coming from Diablo Immortal and expecting the same kind of bullshit gacha mechanics in it. But anyway, that's my Diablo Immortal rant over. So again, it's more of a nuanced take than just Diablo Immortal bad, but you know, oh my god, those microtransactions are some of the worst I've seen in a game period. As if Blizzard needed to fucking ruin their image any more than they already have, am I right? I'm just holding out for the Xbox and Bethesda E3 show, oh, not E3 showcase, I guess, and hoping that they add Diablo 3 to Xbox Game Pass, because while I have played it on PC, and while I have played through it on PS4 and got lots of trophies for it there, Diablo 3 is like one of the most replayable games in existence, so you absolutely better believe I'm going to be hunting for Gamerscore in Diablo 3 when it hits Game Pass. I'm also interested in playing Diablo 2 Resurrected when it hits Game Pass, because I have not bought that game, because that game has its own issues. I don't know if they fixed them by now, but I'm happy to find out for no additional cost. I've heard that people who have never played Diablo 2 before got a lot out of that game anyway, so that's probably not what the issues were. I've kind of forgotten what the issues were, if I'm being honest. I think it was to do with like the fact that they replaced the original Diablo 2 and like they broke a bunch of save files and stuff like that. So those issues probably don't even apply to me, if we're being honest. It occurs to me the Xbox and Bethesda showcase will be taking place next Sunday, when I'll be recording the next episode of A Weekly Waypoint. So instead of giving a bunch of quick predictions there, where it will air the day afterwards when it's already happened, and then I'll just sound stupid, why don't I give some here? I think it's fairly safe to assume we'll be seeing at least one of Forza Horizon 5's 2 DLCs, and that we'll be seeing more gameplay from Forza Motorsport, and we'll probably be getting a release date for it. It's also like 99% certain that we're going to be seeing some Starfield gameplay at this event, which is very exciting. I'm hoping to see more stuff from Avowed, because that's obviously like, hey, they're not making the next Elder Scrolls game, so why don't we do it instead? According to Jez Corden, who is a Xbox insider who I guess we all trust, because I don't think he's really gotten anything wrong and people keep citing him, and I guess he keeps being right. I don't really keep track. Ringing endorsement there for sure. According to him, there was a whole thing after the last E3 of maybe prepare more gameplay for E3 events going forward, so hopefully we'll actually see some gameplay of Avowed if it does show up. I would like to see what's going on with a new Fable game as well, although I'm still quite new to that series. I've only got like maybe a quarter of a way through Fable 1, but still, like, it's meant to be a semi-reboot, right? I would like to see some DLC announced for Halo Infinite. Now, DLC isn't really something that the Halo series has done in the past, but this Halo game, more than any other, feels like it could follow the Destiny model of, you own the base Halo Infinite game, now here's an expansion for it, at least a campaign expansion, right? So I would be excited to see that. I guess they might announce the kind of stuff they're going to be doing with Season 3 as well, but that might be a little bit early since Season 3 is still half a year away. Now, I did mention about Activision games coming to Game Pass earlier on. I don't know if that's going to happen, because as far as we know, the merger hasn't completed yet. Is it a merger, or I don't know what to call it? I'm not a business person, sorry. But if you recall, before the Bethesda one finalized, we did get some Bethesda games hit Game Pass beforehand due to agreement. I believe. Oh, I'm speculating it was due to an agreement. I mean, it kind of has to be an agreement, right? They couldn't have just stolen those games and put them on Game Pass and said, fuck you! Anyway, getting away from the point, my prediction is that will happen here with Activision. A handful, not all, a handful of Activision games may be appearing on Game Pass as part of this event. We know there are supposed to be additions to Game Pass during this event, so yeah. People are speculating that Microsoft might announce another acquisition during this one. I think if they did, it would be a small one, or maybe a few small ones. I'm kind of trying to get away from hyping up acquisitions, because monopolizing the industry isn't really something we should be cheering on, no matter how much it may benefit us personally. But let's be real, if they announce that they're acquiring Square Enix or something bonkers like that, and I know that's not a small one, I would be very much excited. Of course, that's not a real prediction, because Square Enix are far more in bed with PlayStation anyway. Give us Final Fantasy VII Remake already, jeez! Given that it's the Xbox and Bethesda game showcase, I shouldn't be forgetting that Bethesda have a showcase too, and they might be announcing more than Starfield. I really hope that with their additional resources as being part of a Microsoft umbrella now, that they will just fucking let a third-party team remaster Morrowind or Oblivion or something, please. We want remasters. And you guys have a massive gap in your publishing history, right? You probably need like some profits to like make up for the time between Fallout 4 and Starfield or whatever it's been. Just remaster an old Elder Scrolls game, please. You know we're all going to be sluts for it. I would love a Morrowind with optional features that modernize it, because I have tried to get into Morrowind and it's really difficult when the first Elder Scrolls game I played was Skyrim. I can go back to Oblivion, but I can't go back to Morrowind. It's just too far. So just give me like a compass and some quest objectives and we're good. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next week.